Hello, YouTubers. This is already the last Intercom system update video of 2024. I know I have been lacking a lot this year with this content. It's just obviously, as I always say, I'm busy with work and all that good stuff. But I recently uploaded a whole bunch of videos that I've done throughout the last 4 months. One of which was this, which you saw how the project process went with this, which that counted as an update video in a way. But there are several more of these things that I had installed throughout the year 2024 that I never filmed on video. So today you will see all that in this video. Now, an important thing I really want to talk about is these Google videos. Those of you guys, well, some of you guys that read the description would know that some videos I put a Google Drive link in the description, which obviously if you click it, it'll send you to whatever video I have uploaded playing real life content on the system or a speaker of some sort. I am facing an issue with that now, and that is I am running out of space in my Google Drive accounts. So, what I really want to do, and this is something I've been really thinking about for the past couple of weeks now, is I am thinking about creating an Internet Archive account, which you can upload all kinds of stuff to this site, but one of which you can upload videos. I would really like to go through, like, within the next month or two and upload all these other videos that I have, which I have so many of these videos I have made that I would really like to upload somewhere where you guys can see them. Like, some of these are junk videos, for example, but like this, for example, and these are real life content. I call it playing real life content on the speakers, is because obviously I usually play copyright free music on the system in the actual YouTube videos to avoid copyright infringements and all that nonsense. And I do not want to get a copyright strike, so that is why I don't upload any of those videos, even on a second channel, because it could come back and bite me in the butt if I got hit with the strike. And so I do not want to deal with that. So, and also this Soundolier catalog here, I was reading, I think it was last week, I was reading on a fire alarm forum site on some of these pages regarding the fire alarms. Someone took screenshots of the fire alarms from this catalog and posted them on there, and someone put in the comments, why haven't I uploaded this to the Internet Archive yet? And honestly, I am thinking about it. Came at the time when I was thinking about moving all the videos over, so I'm still going to leave the Google Drive link up, but also I would like to put this on the Internet Archive where it will be preserved forever. And then there was another viewer, I forget his name, but I'll probably put a photo in the video. He was also looking through this catalog, and I'm glad to see that you guys are really looking at this catalog. Because I spent a whole day scanning this thing just for you guys to find valuable information from this. And it's nice to see you guys are using it, and that's what it's there for. So let me know in the description if you guys will go to the Internet Archive and watch these videos that I put. I have several of them, and I like to keep the entertainment going, not just limited to copyright free music, but also playing real life content on these, because I'm sure some of you guys like to hear stuff like, I don't know, SpongeBob, for example, playing on this. Maybe that'll be a video idea in the future for the Wayback Machine or the Internet Archive site. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So, now let's get to down to the business of things here. huge shout out to NYCFanPlaneguy Plus. And I know I am really behind on this. So I was watching one of his videos, I think it was back in May, late May of this year, of him acquiring one of these Atlas fire alarm horns. And I noticed in that video he got a hold of the end-dime tone somehow. So I asked him if I could have a copy of the tone, and he graciously sent me that tone, but also some Home Depot announcements that they usually play in the store. Which I'm not going to play the Home Depot announcements here today, but so what I did was I modified the end-dime tone to, instead of getting rid of the Walgreens stuff that was in there before, I cut that part out and I put assistance needed at the front door, which I'll test it here so you can hear what it sounds like.
Assistance at front door. Assistance at front door.
Sorry guys, I finally have the end-dime tone. Thanks to NYCFanPlaneguy Plus for sending that. Huge thanks to you. And shout out, of course. It's nice to have that, and it completes the system. So many of these to get to in this video. So there's that. And for paging today, we're not using the Cisco system because obviously it's down. So I have this splitter here, just piggybacked into the UTI one. Because today we're going to use the Nortel system. So I have this connected to line 6. As you can hear, this is what it sounds like. And it works good. And then I can, as you can hear, we're going to go back to the basics today. Well, basics, classics, whatever you want to call it. So let's start here because obviously I did the video. There's a few new speakers I added to this, which I have a tally up chart, which I'll cover later in this video. So let's start down here. Some of these you probably have seen in some overview videos, or the Intercom system, or Intercom speaker extravaganza video that I made. So let's start with this guy. This guy is a Lowell speaker with a green back can. And believe it or not, this back can and this grill, they are both made by Lowell. Except these are different Lowell, generations of Lowell components. So I bought this from the Michigan State University surplus site. I only paid $10 for it at the time. As you can see, the paper I still left on it. Came with the grill, came with the can. Even came with the wire, which was quite nice. Decent amount of wire, so I just service looped it like that. At one point, Lowell back boxes and brackets, they used to be this green color from the and I believe it's from the 1960s. But then at one point, wherever this was pulled from in Michigan, someone at one point probably took out what I presumably think were those aluminum Lowell grills. Forget the model, but a bunch of you probably already know what I'm talking about. And they switched it out for this. And I think it was cool. And it's also, I don't have a Lowell grill that has these actual speaker screws showing through the front. It's just the outer screws. So it's nice to have one of these on the system. Because the ones I have, a couple of them I have, they're just those fixed studs welded to the grill or the speaker baffle. So it's nice to have that. There's these two Lowell little light fixture simulated looking speakers here. These are supposed to mimic those old light fixtures. That's just why they look like that. I like the way they look. Got them two connected. This guy is kind of new, so, and kind of not. This one, I just threw a bunch of stuff together to make this into one unit, so. This grill came from that Quam vandal-proof grill or baffle came from this back box that I used for this Valcom. And then as far as the speaker driver on this, I took one of those Quam speakers that came from the General Motors plant and put it on this grill assembly. And then this back box, of course, I just custom made it because back boxes were quite expensive at the time. And I didn't feel like spending a lot of money on a back box, so I just did this. And so far, I like the way it came out. There's this guy. I've ever since put it on a back box of its own. There's a Soundolier grill assembly, which the speaker on this is one of those Quam speakers, also from the General Motors plant. I got the grill because it just looks different and odd. It's like something you'd use like in a prison, which it probably is a prison or an institution of some sort. I also got this classic Lowell speaker here. Lowell speaker mixed with the Quam 45 ohm speaker with the 8-watt transformer. Built this box for it just because the size of this grill, how big it was. Got the Bose here, which I already made its own video on. I got these two Bogan foreground speakers, and actually, not only I have just these two, but I have the white version as well. I have not covered this in the video, so I have this, one of these, the white version, and two of these black Bogan foreground speakers. It's nice to have these. So, there's a store in my area called Total Wine. And obviously, you probably already know, judging by the name of it, what they sell. But one of those locations uses they use the white Bogan foreground speakers, just the white versions. I like the way how they sound. So, and then one day I just came across these on eBay for like, I think I paid like $26 for two of these. I think I paid $40 for this earlier this year. This one I bought back in February this year. These ones are more in the last couple of months. My jaw dropped and I had to, of course, buy these because they were so cheap. It'd be nice to put them on the system. And I already had this thing built, so it's perfect. We have the episode speaker still here. The DMX speaker, which you can't fully see it, but it's back there. The Specco. I don't think I have not covered this one yet, so this black speaker you see here, this black speaker assembly, this is one of those Lowell sound masking speakers you see. Has this nice knob and everything. It's basically this, but in, obviously, this style. Same exact everything. So, I came across that cheap back in July. So, I've ever since put it on the shelf, because for a while it was just sitting on top of this dresser along with those two BB2 speakers, which I'll cover here in a second. And there's this lovely Soundolier bidirectional speaker set that sounds like a subwoofer. Really like this. And of course I had to put it right here, and I think it's that one I put directly onto this amp. It's connected directly to one of these zones on this amplifier because of the amount of bass it puts. It's perfect. Got one of these Argo speaker cabinets with the Quam speaker on it. One of them that came from the General Motors plant. I have one of these Atlas Sound. I forget the model of it, but I'll put the text in the screen so you know what I'm talking about. I have 4 of these guys, and I came across these a while back for cheap. For 4 of them. The only catch-22 with these guys were, these were 8 ohms only. But that was not a problem because I had actually 4 of those sound tube transformers kicking around. So I was able to utilize 1 transformer for every 2 of these. And it drives these perfectly. They're perfectly level with the system. They're not too quiet, they're not too loud. So there's this guy. And then there's another one back there. So yeah, there's that. And here's one of these Bogan Quam speaker combos from that General Motors plant. I just put it like that on the shelf because I didn't feel like hanging it on the wall, so it's going to stay like that. These two little guys, these are not JBL CSS 8004s, or I forget, something like that. These ones are these ones are made by a very odd company called Sega. Not the Sega game consoles that you guys are thinking of. These ones are just Sega speakers. I came across these one day on eBay. It was like $10 for each of these because I guess that person or seller had a bunch of these things. And they were originally like, I think $20, and they were like 50% off. So I bought these two because I thought they were cute. I put them in these custom cardboard boxes just so that way they have something to be in. And I thought, I like the way they look. They look a whole lot like this guy, but these ones are just slightly a little smaller than that. They're not the same grill. We have the Bogan BB2s. And you guys gotta ask, why did I mount them like this? Well, first of all, it had this nice support in the middle. And second of all, I wanted to look like how they were installed at Walmart. Now, these are not pulled from a Walmart, but I've had these guys for a while now. Thought it'd be clever to install them just like this. Just because they look cool for the aesthetic purposes, and they are connected. So I like the way how these look. Got these Rowlands still here. As usual. The clocks are not connected. I have them just unplugged. We have this old Toa speaker here. Probably from the 70s. She is connected to the system. And then we have the custom Valcon speaker that I threw everything in. This one's got one of those small moisture resistant drivers. I got that Valcon speaker set just for this grill. And because it has the Valcon logo. The original speaker and the IP board that came with this, I put it away. I did not discard it. Nor do I plan on doing that. I'll hold on to it in case something comes up. And then we have this very odd custom box speaker set here. Now this one is another Sega speaker, but the back box is an Atlas SC175-4. I got this is because the way how this looks, it just is different. And yeah, it fits on this back box just perfect. And it looks a whole lot, the way how the grill is stamped, it looks exactly like this. So what this one is one of these speakers, one of these Atlas speakers here, except I painted it brown, along with the can. And the reason I painted it brown was, well, I had to experiment with some paint that I had, because I was painting the pop-outs in my house, and I had a little bit of paint left over, so I decided to customize it quite a bit. And honestly, it looks really nice. I like the way how it looks. Reminds me of something you could find like in a store that had the ceiling tiles all painted over. But the same exact pattern, everything. All it needs is just the Atlas Sound logo right in the middle. It'll be a square version of this. So, yeah. We have our sound tube speaker on the very back, our electro voice in the middle here, and then our Overkill Lowell speaker here, coax speaker set, and then obviously that Atlas speaker you just saw. The top, I came across this speaker when digging up in the attic like a few months back. I think I had this since I was a kid. It was a computer speaker, so I decided to hook one of those sound tube transformers up to this. And it is connected to this amplifier here on one of the zones. So I have this connected. It was an 8 ohm only speaker that I converted into a 70 volt speaker basically. That'd be cool to finally put this back up on the new system, I'll say. I have this Lowell Duquesne vandal-proof speaker set here. The one that got pulled out of that Pennsylvania state prison. Which, someone commented that they lived 40 minutes away from that prison, which is awesome. There's a piece of that history on this channel right here. She's here to stay. I have this, and I also have this another one of these Quam Argo speaker sets pulled from the General Motors plant, just buried back here. It is connected. It's buried behind all these andon lights because that's the way I put it up at the time. My lovely andon lights you see here along with these guys. So, before I get too distracted. So here, we got the MG speaker finally connected. She's here to stay. Along with this 4J horn. I just connected it to the horn circuit here. It's tapped off the circuit that this horn is connected to. So yeah, that is this shelf. Updated, we'll say. Let's move on to this rack here. And I know this video is going to be going on really long here. So, here is a lot of 8-ohm speakers here. Just a lot of random straight 8-ohm speakers I have lying around and horns. I did this back in early May of this year. I had a cabinet here. I decided to get rid of this cabinet and finally do something about this space. So, obviously, these dual speakers, well, these two I've had these ones for like 4 or going on almost 5 years now. This one I acquired from the same place as I got these two. I saved it from the weather outside, even though these are weatherproof. It was actually just sitting in the dirt, so I just grabbed it and saved it. She works good with these other two. These insignias you see here. These are pretty similar to these, but where I got these three from, these came from my uncle's old house, or his former house. They sold for about $1 million. He sold it, I think, for $1 million. But it was in a really nice part of town. But from 1 month to the next, he said, "I'm ready to sell this house to be closer to family," because he obviously lived quite far from here. So we started renovating this house for 2 whole months. And part of the renovations was the house was going to get painted on the outside. So these had to get removed. But he decided not to put these back up, and he was going to throw these guys away. So I decided to save them. And when he bought that house back in 2017, that house came with these speakers installed in the back. It was like in the back patio and one of these in the pool area. But I tried to trace the lines out for these guys, and I could not find a line. So he just said, "You know what? Don't even bother putting these back up. I'm going to throw them away." So I saved them, and now they live here on the system. I have these other 2 Insignia speakers back here from MK Peterson. These are on the system now. These 2, I forget, these 2 generic speakers here and these 2 DigiX or DigX speakers. These came from CG Speakerverse a while back. I got these installed on the system. We have this Roland speaker, the one that came from OfferUp. That lives here. Up here is another Roland. This one's the one that came from the lot of hospital hall buns and whatnot. These 2 of these came with it. I got this guy. And then this guy that lives up here. Now, I had to get the backhand separately to make this a complete set. And then I just mounted this one just on the shelf like that, just to make it look like it's on a beam. So yeah, there's this guy. We have one of these Sylviet speakers here. Still, I got rid of the other 2. I decided to keep this guy because it's so unique. And then here's that old school bus speaker that's been around for a long time. There's probably even, if you look way back in my older videos, if you look at the thumbnail, this is shown featured in one of the thumbnails, the pre-Intercom days. So I have this guy still here. It is actually on the new system now. we have these two Sony speakers here. Now these ones, they got these from like the same uncle that I got these from, but except these came from his neighbor's house. His neighbor's house where he formerly lived before, because he knew like all the neighbors in that area. And I guess those people asked him if he wanted to take all this stuff, and he took all this stuff, and then he texted me to see if I wanted these, and yeah, of course, I said yeah. So these two Sonys, I like the way these sound, so they of course live on this system. And I think I have it connected, all of this is connected to either second or third floor. And then these horns here, well, these two were those alarm horns you usually get with the security system. Well, I took the circuit boards out of these and I just connected the diaphragms directly to a transformer. These two share the same transformer. These all share one transformer. Here's that direct electronics horn that I made a video on a long time ago. I've ever since bypassed the board on this and just had this connected straight to the system. And before I forget, we have the simplex speaker here. It's part of it's a fire alarm feature. I bypassed the board on here and put a bigger transformer, and this thing sounds good. Like certain songs that have certain highs or certain electronic tones, it sounds so good on this thing. The reason I got this was I went to a mall in Chandler, Arizona, and that mall had all the not anchor stores, but all the regular mall stores, I'll call them, had these in them. Some of which were these plain speakers, and some of which were the strobes. The addressable strobes, because they had a little red light that kept flashing on them. And I wanted to get one of these just because I like the way how this grill looks. And yeah, it's nice to have all this all down here. Now, as far as how I connected these, well, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I had to order 22 Lowell TLM 870 transformers, 20 of which I used just for this bottom tier alone. There's a whole junction box back here, which I don't know if I can get to it or not. There's a whole junction box back here, just filled with those transformers, and each of these has its own transformer. I know it's a lot of transformers, but that was the only way to get these to be compatible with this system. It's a lot, I know. This tier has remained the same. Nothing new here. And here, the only thing that's new is this Duquesne speaker here, which I got this one over a year ago, way over a year ago at this point. And I never even filmed in the last Intercom video last year, so here it is. This has got a really old Duquesne driver. Got this old Duquesne grill. Surprisingly, it fits on an ERD8 can just fine, so I just have it propped against the wall right now, and that's how it's been. These guys remain the same. Now, these guys, I keep saying, spoiler alert, these are new speakers. Well, I got these earlier, I think it was back in January of this year, and I never filmed this. This is how behind I am. Now, this video is going to be really long, so I have 4 of these guys. I have these 2 here, and these 2 up here. This person was selling me lots of 2, so, and he had 2 lots available, so I bought all both lots. I got these because it has this nice square pattern here, and I really like the square pattern, so, yeah, there's that. Okay, so, back to the video here. So, we got this Lowell speaker, the one I covered the weird transformer configuration on. I put this on the side of the shelf, and this one I got back in February of this year. Really like the way the grill looks, but unfortunately, like during shipping, it got a little bit dinked on the side, and I had to spray paint this. I really want to take this in and this new tone in to get powder coated in the future. That way this grills don't look so bad on the side like this. Because these are spray painted. Well, this one I spray painted. This one came spray painted and it looks uneven in a way. So I don't really like that. So there's that guy. And the rest of these remain the same except, oh yeah, there's this guy back here which you can't see. There's another speaker back here. This one is one of those really old Quam C5 speakers with this very weird grill. I don't know. I have a suspicion that Soundolier made this grill. And the can is black. So I just have it suspended on the shelf on the back and is leaning against the wall. This one I got back in January. Got it around the same time I got these guys. These little guys here. So there's that. Oh yeah, before I forget. These are one of those hospital call button things. I did some surgery. I had like 7 of these things, so. These are fed off of one of those sound tube transformers, those 30-watt sound tube transformers. I just have all these connected onto one. And the reason I put these up was, hey, I had so many of these kicking around, and also I wanted to put them to use. So I just took the leads. I disconnected the speaker connection from this board here, and I just have a couple of wires tacked onto the connections to the speakers. And that's how I got these guys to work. The top tier remains the same. All of this in the corner remains the same. Nothing new here. All of this pretty much remains the same, except the round I just discussed. That's the one from the hospital lot. Got this vintage Soundolier grill finally up on the ceiling here. Now this one's got an Atlas sound driver on it, but I decided to put it here because I really like the way it looks. Really like the way it looks, especially when the light's reflecting off the paint. So she lives there. I have it tapped off the same circuit as Bogan Orbit near speaker I have up. There's that. There's this. Oh, yeah, there's these two here. These two are also new. Another Bogan box speaker, yet again. A Quam box speaker. Now, this one has an interesting issue. When I got this driver, it sounds kind of half blown. I don't know why, but it was a new driver made within the last 3 years, and I think it came with a defect from the factory. But it's slight blow, like especially when there's the mids are playing, you can really hear it. But I decided to put it up. It's not terribly too bad. I can't hear it when it's with all of these other speakers here. That one was brand new. This Bogan box speaker got pulled out of a vocational school of some sorts. I got both of these, I got them back in, this one I got in December of last year. This one I got earlier in February of this year. And I decided to put the two like that because I just like the way they look together. And not only that, but it makes some nice little shelf tiers on the top. So don't mind my little decorations on the top. These are just little things people have given me that I just tend to put up on shelves and whatnot. This remains the same except for this guy. I got this guy and this guy suspended in the air in the corners. Those are those Atlas SHS speakers that I got back in June of this year. June or May, one of those two. There's so many of these things I have gone. This two finally have their little home in the corners. They're not very loud, but I just like the way how they look. Got the GA horn from CJ Speakerverse. Really like the way this horn looks with that light below it. The light that I got from my uncle's former house also. Yeah, he did a lot of work. And then we have this really, I'll say another speaker extravaganza going on the dresser here. This guy here is a new one. This one I got also a year ago. That's how behind I am. This is one of those Duquesne speakers. And this is the only listing that pops up for this. And I had to get this because I really like the way how it looks. I had to build a custom back box with cardboard. So there's that. We have the McBride. She's on the system now. See, these guys are the same here. The same with this. Those two I just covered. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention this one here. This one is another Bogan box speaker. This one I have for way over a year now. Except this one's the one with the volume control. So yeah, just you know, I like those Bogan box speakers. We have our good old Home Depot speaker still here. I keep getting comments from MK Peterson. Really wants one of these yellow speakers so bad. Hopefully one will pop up one day. Hopefully. And then these two are the custom speakers I did back over I think it was in July. That I uploaded way after the fact. This one's completely custom. This one's got one of those ion little party block or whatever the heck thing you call it speakers in it. And then this one's got an Atlas speaker, but the grill is made by Lowell. We got the foreground speaker here. These two Panasonics, this Panasonic and this Panasonic you see here, these are connected to the system now. And those two are fed off of two separate Lowell TLM 870 transformers in the junction down there that I mentioned previously. Let's see. These have remained the same. These two are also new. From over a year ago also. Now, this was a really weird, interesting mix. This one's got a Qualm C5 driver, even though the grill is Atlas Sound. And this grill, and I know you guys are going to say, this is probably a Qualm grill. It is not a Qualm grill. It's Atlas Sound. You see how the corners are really nice and pointed? Atlas Sound does that with their grills. Qualm, on the other hand, rounds their corners off. That's how I know. That's how you distinguish the difference between one of these Qualm square grills and these Atlas grills is the pointed corners and whatnot. Just look at the corners. If it's pointed, it is certainly Atlas Sound. If it's rounded, it's Qualm. This was another, what is that, D161-8? The same as this, but newer. You know, I just really like these speakers. You guys probably already know how much I really like this square design. And it gets better because there's another newer one, which I'll show here in a bit. So yeah, these two are connected. And this is where it gets even more interesting. We have another one of these, except this one was the IP version. So this one has one of those IP boards on it, but what I did was I disconnected the speaker driver off of the IP board and I put a Lowell TLM 870 in this back box. And I just have it just screwed to the speaker, but I left the IP board on this in case something comes up in the future. Because I'm sure I'm going to get tons of comments why I'm not using the IP functionality. Well, because my system is not designed for IP stuff. I mean, other than the Cisco system, but this needs a whole nother system to operate. And obviously I want to play music on this, so this is the only way to do it. Just convert it into a 70-volt speaker. And then, last but not least, on the system is one of these Atlas Sound, another one of these IP speakers. This one is the horn version. I would really love to get this display to work somehow, but I don't know if these are addressable LEDs or not. It's a red display, I know that. But you can't just connect this to the internet and it works. You have to have a full-fledged system to make this work. So that is why I don't have any of that connected. But this one I also just threw a Lowell TLM 870 transformer in here to feed this horn driver. So these are 70 volts now. I know. This video's going on way too long. got these guys here. This will get its own overview video, but I got one of these Lowell Control 24 CT speakers. The ones that are now very popular in a lot of remodel Target locations. It's nice to have one of these. It came with this purple wire. Very overkill speaker wire for this, but that's what it came with. That's its own overview video. I have this really old vintage custom speaker set here. It's got one of these old Zenith one of those tube radio speakers in here. This transformer is not used. I bypassed the transformer and I just have this lamp cord connected straight to the speaker. This is disconnected. I want to get this connected to the system one of these days, but I still got to work out some stuff here. Got obviously my my Philips SQ8 amplifier kicking here. None of this is going to be connected today, so there's this guy. Also, I did an overview video on this DNH speaker you see here. I covered that. And then my clock speaker combo. I am planning on building some kind of back box for this thing eventually when I get the time to do so. And my plan is just to hang this on the wall like a picture frame. It obviously utilizes the speaker, but this speaker is not connected for today's video. It's just there as a decoration. So yeah. Okay, I forgot another speaker here. This one is a Atlas. One of those Atlas, I think an SM42. I'll put the model on the screen, but I got this one for Reverb about around the same time as this Bogan Foreground here in February of this year. Keep forgetting a few of these, but I'll keep adding them into the current video. Enough of the talking already. Let's get to the music and the paging. Oh yeah, I forgot about this guy. Got that Soundolier speaker installed directly below this Rowland speaker, so almost forgot that. Now let's get back to the video, or the music. Can Stacy fill up the cash register with pennies? Once again, can Stacy fill up the cash register with pennies? Thank you.
Assistance at front door. Assistance at front door.
Now and get your free cookies and have a wonderful holidays. Hey, everything in the store is 80% off today. Once again, everything in the store is 80% off. Grab it now. It only lasts 5 minutes. And don't trample each other either in the process. We have someone hacking the intercom system again. Can someone stop that, please? Activity going on in the seafood aisle. Once again, suspicious activity going on in the seafood aisle. Someone stop that, please.
So yeah, that is the music on the system. So, and for today, we're not going to show the shop because obviously this video has gone on too long, and realistically, nothing's changed in the shop, so there is no point in showing it. So yeah, that is the intercom system video, the last intercom system video of 2024. This system just keeps on growing and growing, and before I forget, there's the speaker count as of today. I keep getting tons of comments about how many of these things I have all together. I did a simple breakdown of the system. So for this room alone is 188 speakers. The ones that are currently all connected, excluding the 4 of these, because they're not connected. But I did add in a second tally up here with those speakers added up, as if they were to be on the system in the future. So right now it's 188. With these guys connected, it's going to become 192. Almost 200 of these on this side. Almost 200 of these. This system just keeps getting more advanced. There's 4 Valcom devices, 21 70-volt horns. I did not count the Valcom horn in the horns category. That's why I put Valcom as its own category, because obviously they're its own thing. 42 8-ohm only speakers. And what I mean by 8-ohm only speakers is these guys, for example, that were meant to be used with 8-ohm systems. Well, that I since put transformers on these guys, connected them to transformers to make them work with this system. That's what I mean by that. 121 70-volt only speakers just for this room. That is insane. I was blown away counting all this up, and I carefully triple counted everything to make sure I got every one of these, because it's easy to lose track when you're counting these up when you got so many of these. Here's the shop side of things. 32 speakers in the shop, 5 Valcom devices, 4 horns, 23 70-volt only speakers. And this is the grand total with all the speakers added between the shop and this room. 220 of these things. Soon to be 224 once these other 4 are added. I can't believe how much this system has grown. And I still have my first Huam speaker, but she lives in the shop. It still lives in the shop. It is still in use to this day. And next year will be, this upcoming August, will be 10 years. 10 years of this extravaganza. 10 whole years, a decade. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the Internet Archive idea, moving all those Google videos over. Will you guys view those videos if I were to upload to the Internet Archive? And again, have a wonderful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's.